What's up, everyone? Welcome to another video. Sorry about the hair. It's the weekend. I just let it down. It looks terrible, I know, but whatever. Okay, in today's video, I want to talk about what I believe I should be doing with my 20s, my early 20s, I should say. The reason I'm saying I and me only is because I don't think I have enough knowledge acquired to speak on anyone else and how they should be operating. I simply want to document how I'm going to be or how I'm going to be trying to operate in my 20s, in my early 20s especially. So I'm going to be talking about what I think I should be doing and document it. Not trying to say it's advice for anyone else. If you want to try it, go ahead. I can't speak much more, right? So I've been thinking a lot about this since I got out of my teens. I'm currently 22, going to be 23 next month. And I've been thinking a lot about it because I noticed trends. There's two common trends I notice with people in their 20s. There's either people who live it up in college, like, oh, you're only young once, I know what I'm going into after this, and I'm going to have to, do the 9-to-5 life and give up that freedom and whatnot. So I'm going to party now, enjoy it now, live the normal American, I don't know about anywhere else, but the normal American college experience. And then the other part I notice is the people who either don't go to college or they take college really seriously and they put in the effort now and work really hard, so that way they can make the rest of their life better. But that being said, I feel like people who do the second option aren't focusing so much on, let me put it this way, they're focusing too much on the financial aspect. They're like, oh, I need to make all my money now, I need to run it up now so that way the rest of my life is better. I see it differently. I see it more like your 20s are building blocks. Early 20s especially. I'm not saying like 10 whole years of your life have to be building blocks. I don't know enough to judge that yet, but I'm saying my early 20s, at least till I'm 25, I feel like are going to be building blocks, right? So the ones I wrote down are one, building a relationship with God. I think having a strong relationship with God, whatever you believe in, is very important. Believing you're not the sole purpose of your life is very important. And that you don't answer to anyone is insane. I believe that thinking you have a good enough moral compass to justify what is right and wrong in all aspects of life is insane to me. I think you need to believe in something higher, but that's just me speaking that. I'm not forcing anyone. That's just my beliefs, right? So one, I think building a strong relationship with God, because if you have a strong, let me break it down, because I came into religion very differently than most. I grew up Catholic and then went through a lot of family issues, and then my family was atheist for most of my childhood. So I grew up basically agnostic and very science-driven, very evolution-driven, like, how could God be real because this happens, blah, blah, blah. And then I came to it like a logical standpoint of, why would I want to be in a world where I think I know everything, or I think everything's random, or I think we just came from monkeys? I don't think that's a good way of believing in a future or believing in something, right? I think it is more logical and better to think of it like we came from something, right? And if you read most religious texts, they have a lot in common. It's like, why would really old texts that old have that much in common if there wasn't some element of truth to it, right? And the other aspect I notice is, like, ideally you'd want a community of people who all believed in the same moral values, ethical values, right? And I think there's a big issue with that in America, and I think that also is, is in line with the decrease in people who have a religious background or religious beliefs. So it's like the amount of people who are separating in terms of moral and ethical beliefs that are similar is going like this with people who believe in religion, right? And I think that's just a tell sign of how important it is. But yeah, there's multiple aspects. I can't share all of them. I don't even know all of them, right? I just know from that little bit that religion itself is good. It's a good backbone. It's a healthy backbone. And being able to realign with center with something that if you believe in is truth, is the right path, the right way, is very important to me. So one is building a relationship with God. I think that's really important, or whatever higher power you believe in. But the other one is, well, before I move on to the next one, I think the reason why that's so important is because you want to be able to have building blocks for your family. You want to have structure and building blocks for your family. And honestly, I think we can all relate to this. Just because your parents say something doesn't make it true, or just because your parents say, I told you to do this because I say so. That doesn't just make it true, right? And it's kind of hard to invoke that. But if you're a man of God who believes through, a religious text and religion itself, and you're passing that down to your children, like, you need to do this way because God is watching, and you want to be God-fearing, you want God on your side, and he's always watching what mistakes you make and whatnot. I think that's just a lot better way of going at life. But that's just me personally. But I think that's a good building block right there. Another good building block is just building and instilling healthy habits, eating healthy. Getting rid of video games is a big thing for me, and not smoking weed and not drinking. They're huge for me. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't play video games anymore. I'll play 30 minutes on a weekend if I have time. But for the most part, I don't play video games. I don't do anything like that anymore. And for me, it was because every time I played video games, I would feel the feeling of not getting my goals accomplished or not hitting my goals. I would think about not being able to do stuff like this. I was pushing my brain somewhere else so that way I could have fun now, and missed out on the importance of doing the things that weren't as gratifying in the moment, but I knew in that moment still that they would be better off, I'd be better off in the long run doing those instead, right? So I think instilling healthy habits is just under having a solid relationship with God and building a relationship with God. That's another key building block. And how I'm structuring all my building blocks has to do with how I want my home to be ran, right? Like how I want my family to be in order. I'm not saying I can control everything, right? But I can set a standard. So that's the second building block, is building healthy habits, eating healthy, whatnot, right? The second one, or the third one, I think, is building a good personal brand. I don't think everybody has to do this. I don't think it has to be a personal brand the way I'm doing it. But I think with the power of the internet, the power of commune, I know people don't agree with that. That's what the internet does, but it does to an extent. Like, why do you think, I don't have any social media anymore, but why do you think people like TikTok? It's because oh, did you see that TikTok? Or if you think about it, it's there's a lot of people who see the same shit, and then you're all in some way, shape, or form in commune because you guys have seen the same thing, you've experienced the same kind of content. So yeah, I just think personal brand is good. You can connect with those who might relate with your content. I think that's healthy. I think that's good. Make sure you're not going crazy, that you're not the only one in the world who thinks what you think. It might help restructure your thinking. It might help others out there who are lost and need a little bit of guidance, right? So I think building a personal brand is very important. And if you want to sell, shit, I think it's important too. It doesn't have to be what I'm doing. It could be something you're passionate about. I saw a TikTok about it, or I saw a YouTube short. The only social media I have is YouTube. So I saw a YouTube short, and it was talking about imagine if you just loved making coffee, and then you just showed the beauty behind making it perfectly, and then you made a coffee shop, and you made really good advertising, but you had a personal brand behind it, so people liked you for who you are, and you made really good coffee. I think it would sell really well, right? So the third building block is a personal brand, because I think that will set you up for life, right? Because if you have a personal brand with people who know you for who you are and like you for who you are, and you can somehow monetize that, I think that is really good, and it helps your chances of success a lot. My fourth one is building good work skills. So that's critical thinking, problem solving, just hard work ethic in general. Those things you want to structure in your early 20s. You want to be really good. You want to have really good work ethic. It's okay, well, if I can't figure this out, or I can't solve this problem my boss left for me, and I can't get a hold of him, I'm going to clean. I'm going to do the most I can, right? Knowing that the importance of money, importance of working hard for your money, right? Critical thinking skills. So if I don't have the answer right in front of me, or I can't find the answer, how can I get to the closest possible thing, even though I'm not sure of the answer? A thing I didn't understand about problem solving is there's not going to just always be an aha moment. Like, oh yeah, that's how it's fixed. It might be, okay, I think this is it. Let's try it, right? And especially with the trade I'm in, there's quite a few opportunities to learn things like that, right? So I think critical thinking is a huge one you want to develop. Problem solving is a huge one, because I notice there's a difference. There's basically two facets of jobs. There's either the people who, if there was enough technology, could be replaced by robots, and there's the people who have to problem solve with the issues that robots couldn't get done, right? And I think Luke Belmar said this, but you want a business model or a job that is AI proof, because what's better than a business model ran by an AI? It's a business model that's AI proof. I think the job I'm in, AI proof. I'm not saying I'm gonna be there my whole life, but you want skills that can't be replaced, right? That's the most important thing, because that's how you get paid the most, is you have a more valuable skill than someone else, right? So I think having good work skills is the fourth pillar, right? Or is that fourth? Yeah, fourth pillar and kind of building block of my 20s is good work skills. So that's, again, I'm just gonna repeat it one more time. Critical thinking, problem solving, good work ethic. I think that's it. Just like if I noticed I had a really good work ethic from my dad. I noticed if you gave me a job and then I figured out how to do it, I could do it very well, and I could do it very, very well, right? But the thing I notice I was lacking in was the problem solving and critical thinking. It was just kind of like, if the answer's not right in front of me, it was kind of hard for me to fathom that there would be an answer, right? That's just negligence. But yeah, that was kind of the issue I ran into. So that was part of the reason I actually did the job, or started the job that I'm doing, is because I realized how important critical thinking is, and how most high-end jobs actually are they pay you based on how well you can critically think, right? So that's the fourth building block. And then the fifth one is just tying it in, is understanding what I'm doing this for. The fifth block is understanding the whole goal. And I think I've been having issues with this, but I think I either need to meditate more, or I don't know what the word is, but I need to encompass it all together once a month or something, and be like, okay, what am I actually doing all this for? So that way I can see, maybe progress is the right word, but understanding what I'm doing it for helps motivate you, right? So if I'm like, okay, I am building a good relationship with God, it's getting there. I am building and instilling healthy habits in all aspects of mental and physical parts of my life. I am trying to build a personal brand. I am trying to build work skills. Okay, this has to work, right? This has to make me a better person. This has to help out society in some way, so that way my effort can be traded for a currency to be able to take care of my family, right? There has to be a win in that, at least somewhere. Maybe it's not the way I want it to be, maybe it's not the way I'm going to predict it to be, but in some way, shape, or form, I'm giving a net positive to those around me, so that way a net positive can come back to me. I mean, that's the reality of everyone, right? So yeah, I think that last pillar is encompassing it all. So that way, I could just have a good relationship with God, but have all those be weaker. I could just have healthy habits, but not have a good relationship with God, and not have a good personal brand, and not have good work skills. Or I could just have good work skills and fuck all the other things up. But I think encompassing all of those and focusing on having those really good building blocks will make it so you're a really good parent, and a really good leader of your household. And I think that's what we all want, right? I want to be able to go home and know that my house is ran a certain way. There's certain moral and ethical ideals that we all stand by. And I'm not saying household specifically physically, right? Obviously physically at first, but when I have kids, and then they have kids, and I have this huge family tree that I have created. And also, I haven't talked a lot about this, but helping those who are older than me too, it's just a little weird concept that I'm starting to understand more. So I don't want to share about that yet, because I'm still analyzing it. But yeah, I think knowing what all your building blocks are for and what you're actually building is a huge thing. So that's the last one, is encompassing it all. But yeah, these are the building blocks and the things I'm focusing on in my early 20s. I think it's gonna make me a better person overall. I think it's gonna make me a stronger person overall. It's gonna help me learn and understand more, and overall be able to be a better person, a better child of God, a better future father, a better brother, a better son, a better everything, really, a better employee. I think I'm going to be a better person overall by focusing on these and encompassing these building blocks as a whole is the biggest thing for me, is because I can do one of them or two of them even, but understanding I can do all of them, not perfect, right? Because I'm sharing energy, but doing all of them good enough and building them up slowly within these early 20s, so that way hopefully I come out the other side a structured person with all these building blocks strong, so I have a good backbone, so that way I can hold my own. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, just sharing a little bit about my thoughts about what is going on in my brain when I'm thinking about my future and what I care about. So hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.